Hello, Mark.
Hello, how are you?
I am well. I am well.
Great.
It's nice to meet you and be in this space.
It's been a long time coming, right?
Yes, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, so happy to have this opportunity to speak with you. So much going on right now, as I'm sure you're feeling it and experiencing it. So we could just dive into whatever and see where this takes us.
Okay, yeah, that sounds perfect.
Yeah, I have felt a ramp up recently of continuous energy, call them energy waves coming in. And there's this big, I keep getting visuals, I'm sure you do too, of this grid connecting. Like we're being plugged in all around the planet. There's many of us that are coming together and awakening and essentially like plugging into a grid. I keep getting these visions from my guides that show me a grid around the planet and just various parts are lighting up. And I know you're working with individuals all over that are really kind of getting dialed in and bringing their, this high frequency energy forward, which is just an amazing, amazing thing.
Yeah, it was incredible the way it came into being. We actually felt the need to do it surface in November of 2019.
Okay.
2020, November of 2020. It was really fast. And by December 12th, so it was 12/12. On 12/12, 2020, what we did in our group was we launched the Acasma Planet of Light and Healing Grid. And it was a group of individuals from all over the planet that had come together through various ways of my social outlets or my classes I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they felt drawn to do it. But it was very fascinating to me because what came through first was that we had to have anchors first. And it was very,
Yes.
there had to be anchors first.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't just be a bunch of pillars of light, but you had to have anchors.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just find all of this fascinating because I was like, not even, oh, we're going to get specifics. Okay.
It's
So,
interesting because we get the same, this comes through in a very similar type of way. And I was shown that where we've got these, like you say, pillars, anchors, and now it's starting to fill in. So it
mhm,
was very strategic, it seemed,
absolutely.
where these anchors were placed. And it was a very vivid image, just incredible. And I'm seeing now light workers stepping forward and they're coming forward and they're coming to me. Um, Not sure exactly what their purpose is or what they're supposed to be doing, but they're just kind of tuning into this energy, the higher frequency energy, and looking for that guidance. And that's the rest of this grid starting to fill in. And I know it's just the way you and I came online with this as these pillars, these anchors, it's just fascinating. There's others like that out there, and we just hold that space for these people to just come to at this point and really start to fill everything in. Very powerful, very all planned, right? There's no
Absolutely.
doubt that this is just all laid out.
Absolutely. And it's definitely how, in my humble opinion,
Mm-hmm.
we were able to even come out of 2020 into 2021 and gain more light because that is happening. We are gaining
Mm-hmm.
more and more light on this planet and more humans gaining their light, right? The remembrance
Yes.
urging within the
Mm-hmm.
being. But one other point I want to add, because it's fascinating, you may even have additional knowings on this, is not only where was I told you have to have anchors first, set
Mm-hmm.
them, and then you'll bring in additionals as they come. But every single time, and from the beginning forward, when we hold once a month together, but we hold every day in quantum.
Sure.
Um, but it was that the activate alignment, the actual words were given
Okay.
to activate alignment when the
Mm-hmm.
pillars take in new, I'm sorry, the anchors, when the anchors take in new pillars. So
Mm-hmm.
they actually, the pillars are like this, the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're also almost like in charge of or in control of the ability to activate the alignment of the additional pillars.
Yes. Yeah. And I see it as a way of, we're going to show those who come to us exactly what they need, what their soul needs, what it, at that moment to be reflected to them. So the energy comes through us. We're essentially space holders, and we're bringing that aspect forward, and that's going to resonate with them. And still, there's a lot of wobbliness with that because they're not sure always about what they're supposed to be doing, but the seeds are planted because we bring forward a frequency. And at that point, we begin to guide, and they come back. And we do that with my monthly sessions as well. I'll bring people together and we'll work with that and talk about the energy. And what's very important right now is grounding this and living as our higher self, because we're here to be in this physical body, and we need to be able to bring this energy through and allow our soul to show us what's in the way, the density that's in the way. And that's being reflected, as collectively. We're seeing it everywhere we turn, right? So as you said, the more light that is coming through now, when we experience that light, we're going to be able to see more of the darkness, more of the shadows, to be able to heal that. And I feel like we're just beacons of light for those that are kind of starting to come out of that collective density in the shadows. They're being drawn in as a safe space because they're feeling something deep within that's activating.
Yes.
And we're allowing them to bring that forward and holding a safe space, non-judgmental love, compassion, and so on and so forth. So it's just an amazing time, because you wouldn't expect, with everything that's going on and all the fear that's out there, for this light to be showing, but it's coming through, and that's what we're doing.
I know. And it's incredible. Sometimes I have to shake my head just a teeny bit because I see and I hold an understanding of what is also happening, in a sense, for the clearing and the purging and the realization, the awareness of the state of the being in that space of itself. But at the same time, I'm constantly filled with joy. I'm constantly filled with light. I mean, I'm so excited about what we get to be here for, what we get to witness and experience and be.
Yes. And that's part of being that anchor, is being able to align with that and be that in the midst of the energy that's clearing, and we could find our way back to that, because there's times where, we're human, right? There's times where something will happen and, emotions come up, but I find my way back to that because there's a gravity, there's a singularity right here. And I allow myself to I let go, and I literally fall back into it, and bring my awareness back into my physical body and my heart space. And that connects us with the quantum, and it just collapses everything into the now. And I find it amazing because, 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, who would have thought, who would have thought that this was possible, right? We're all living as humans. We're in society, running day to day based on our subconscious beliefs, our programming. And then we awaken to this, and we have just this divine, amazing connection, and this information starts to flow, and it's just there. If you could just take a moment and breathe with it, it's there. We've built such a presence within ourselves, within our body, to start to live as that being of light. And I just see it manifesting all over the planet. I just see it, it's incredible.
Yeah, it truly is. And I know we witness this with those who come and do this work to find their way and get the guidance. And that, to me, there's really no word adequate for the amount of love I feel in those moments when another being finds its way home to its wholeness and to its truth and can rise. Yes. And that's what we do. That's what we get to do. And how incredibly blessed. Yes. Yes.
It's like you said before, it's a remembering of who you are. It's a remembering of who you are. We like, everything, the perspective is everything is separate. We have a soul, not that we are a soul, not that we are a divine being. When we could remember that, and that we're just here having this experience, it's just so powerful to connect that up, to build that circuitry within people, and connecting up, it's the left and the right hemisphere of the brain, however you want to term it. It's just, it's the logic versus the intuition. Just to be able to bridge that gap and bring it all together,
Yeah.
is just so powerful and so incredible. But I think it's incredible to be able to work with people and watch them start to connect, start to get it, and start to experience their oneness come forward. And I hear stories about it, in their day-to-day lives and things like that, how they're seeing situations differently. They're able to connect in, and just bring that aspect of them forward. And they're having experiences that they never would have thought they'd have in certain situations.
Yeah.
Because they're not tied to an expectation. It's just, it releases that burden of that dense energy, and you just are available for whatever comes.
And most of the experiences I've had with individuals coming in on more of a base level, so they may not be aware of energy work or, consciousness speaking about it. They're just coming in at a really base level. And this really does apply to all, but there's so much programming that they're finding. They're finding the beliefs that are not their beliefs. They're finding, how they have structured their lives was not for them. They structured it for how they thought someone would want them to be or look or live. So one of the biggest things I see happening right now, especially, is people really coming into awareness of, whoa, is this the life I want to live? Or they're realizing pieces of it are not authentic. They're not them. It's not their heart. And it's an incredible space to watch them drop that and then align with and lock into their authentic truth, which is connected to their soul purpose, connected to their heart, connected to their joy. You tap into those spaces and you're going to light it up.
Yes. You just see it all fall away. Because when you think back, when we were younger, it seemed like everything really was created based upon expectations of others. We're guided, and society guides everyone down a path.
What will they think of you, right?
And you get to the point, like you say, where we start to bring awareness to these beliefs. They start to come up because, our soul will move this energy up for us to see and to feel. A lot of times that comes up in the body. Maybe someone's in a career that they just don't like. They've never liked it. They're starting to get physically sick. They're starting to get stressed. They're starting to age. Their body's breaking down, things like that. So many ways that will manifest. But when you could take a look at these beliefs and realize, that's not me. That's a version of me that was created by some other set of rules. And that's the first step, right? And then we learn how to work with that. How do we work with that? How do we get in and breathe with that? How do we allow these emotions to be and release them, and learn to release them, and just kind of let everything exist and be aligned and feel it all. And that's the power. And it's challenging to navigate in the beginning, for sure. Somebody who's just getting into these types of situations, because the emotions are so strong. They're very distracting, and when we could drop in below those and work with people to do that, you get to see just a completely new, whole individual blossom come forward and start to take control over their life. It's just amazing. I'm coming up on a major life shift myself, and I'm going to take people through that with me. On my channel, my YouTube channel, I'm going to go through what I'm experiencing with that, and what I'm feeling, and how I'm aligning, and how I'm working with that, and allowing all that to be
seen by all, be experienced by all with you.
To actually walk and move through it
Yeah, that's a great means in which you can teach and help them
Yeah.
to have an idea in case they're in that space at that time or at one point in their life.
And I want to bring it forward. I want to bring the experience forward because I want people to see that we, have these emotions and it's okay. Fear, anxiety, these are the anchoring emotions. These are the emotions that anchor us into this 3D reality, part of our physical body. It's the density that we are. And we want to be able to bring it all into the mix and learn to just allow it to be, and stay aligned. And that's what I want to do. That's what I want to bring forward for people to be able to see how I work with that energy in those situations. So many times we get caught up in, and you've probably been through this too. I know I've been through it where, okay, I could feel this. I know what to do with it, but this situation's different. It just doesn't apply here, especially after I first awakened. Something comes forward that brings forward a lot of anxiety. It's like, okay, well, I'm just not sure how I'm going to work through that one, until we have it anchored enough within to be able to do that, to just, like I said, let go and fall in, and just let the gravity take over.
Yeah, I teach a Being the New Human class, and we talk about this a lot. And one of the biggest things I try to share is the concept of awareness being your very best friend. Because if you're unaware, you can't do anything about anything. But if you are aware of what is happening, you have the opportunity to then have a choice on whether you react, respond, whatever you're doing. And so from awareness, I go to observation, because awareness allows you the ability then to choose to step back a moment and observe the feelings, the situation, the experience, all of it. And my go-to is that I teach is this is how I do it, is to anybody that this might bring some assistance to. But when you approach life from this version of you, and I don't say this to demean our versions of our human lifeline, but we're just using it as an example. When we go through life and we approach the experiences that are more difficult and we're this version, the experience feels like this. It feels really big, and it feels like it's on top of us, and it's heavy, and it's, how can I get out of it? We get all caught up in it. But with the ability to stay aware and observe what's going on as it's happening, observe what you're feeling without opening your mouth. That's okay. Take a minute.
Right.
You get faster and faster at it the more you do it.
Yes.
You observe the whole thing. And then instead of this, you pull yourself back. This is perception. You pull yourself back. And when you're back here, your vantage point, that means how you see what is happening is a lot different than being right up on top of it to being back here in your sovereignty. The minute you pull back into your wholeness and your sovereignty, you can make a choice. You have an opportunity to say, why is this here again? Without judgment, but just you're learning self-mastery. You're learning how to direct your life, how you will be you.
That's right.
And so in that moment, you can choose. Is it just many times these experiences show up again because they are simply asking us, are we really realigning higher? They're giving you the opportunity because they're a program you've run a million times. Are you really unplugged? Because, we did that whole unprogram thing, you and I, your whole being's talking to you for a minute.
Right. Yes.
We unplugged. We did a new you installed a new thing to do, but I'm just a root line over here of this energy signature. And I just need to know, are you really done with me? That can very well happen. It happens a lot. And so in that moment of observation and awareness, we can be conscious enough to say, you are correct. I am no longer aligning with that. That is true. And you can choose by how you respond, how you take in that experience, consciously aligning it to the space of you, that higher space of you, that flow space of you that is
bringing it in
constricted, and not get all up in that old space, that old
right
that you're done with. But people get upset when the done with shows up again, and they get out sometimes, and they're like, are you kidding me? I thought we did this. But I love to just offer this one small space of thought here. And that is that you can go from, are you kidding me? I thought we did this. And you can shift it to, okay, this is an opportunity for me to just one more time solidify my energetic alignment. It's an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
That in itself is a perceptional change. You have shifted your perception.
That's right.
Experience, which in itself has now
Yes.
also helped you keep your alignment. That is your higher conscious alignment that you've been working on and you've been solidifying. So that's one of my biggest things with the emotions coming in and people coming into spaces in themselves where they don't want to run the same programs anymore. They're done. They're really done. But they find them showing up. So it's just gaining enough awareness so that you can be present enough to consciously navigate the space. And you have the ability to do it. You have the ability to do it. You're geared for it. You're created. It's in you. Just
well, that's why we're here. We're here to experience the emotions that you can't experience from a perspective of not being separate, okay, not having it be reflected to you. So this universe is created to have these experiences. And what you're talking about is you're creating space. A lot of these emotions come back around, and they'll come back around so we have an opportunity to see it from an even higher perspective. So as it's a spiral staircase. Yeah. As we're growing, things will come back around and we'll get to see it from a higher perspective. And that just adds a whole new layer of healing to it. Yes. So we welcome that because it's an like you say, it's an opportunity. Yes. I saw you this way last time and I felt maybe a little bit of fear. Now I'm seeing it again. There's less of a charge. So I'm looking at it from an even higher perspective. And we continue to do that. And that anchor, it transmutes it. It raises the frequency of that because we're no longer aligning with the density. We can allow the density to be. It's not charging up in our mental body and we're not aligning with it. And that's growth. That's growth.
Absolutely. And it changes the connective points as well. So if there's another individual involved, say it's the particular situation, the feelings have to do with an individual that you had an experience with, a parent or a friend or whoever. So now when you're saying, and we're saying the perception view expands and you look at it differently and you gain a deeper understanding of it, those connected to it now, there's a shift with your energy and their energy. And instead of maybe being angry at so-and-so because they said those things, but now from the perceptional view that you were able to go to, oh, I can see a little bit better of why they said or did what they did. And it just offers complete space of flow to come in all of the spaces.
You're literally creating a new reality. It's a new reality for both people involved to see it from a different perspective.
Yeah,
it's holding that energy at space. Isn't that cool?
It's huge. I like it. I started taking it to a little bit different level a couple of months ago, and it was so fun. Whenever I would be in an experience with someone and there would start to be any discomfort, via whatever reason, I would be always doing my own self-check, right, of my perception of the space. And I would always be doing my own awareness, observation, conscious choice of how I would respond. But then I did something fun. I did my check real quick because I got good at that. You get good. You get fast. It's just like that. And then I started checking their perception. So I would quietly be taking in them and I'd be like, oh, and I would begin to hold compassion, understanding, more peace, because I could pick up on they're really scared right now. Or
their emotion. Yes.
Yeah, I could pick up on it. And immediately I was able to not only do my side of the energy space movement, but I could also see where they were coming from and I could hold a much better space compassionately for them as well.
Yes, that's activating those emotions within you, because everything's a reflection. So we see or we feel what they're feeling, and we could do that with awareness, like you do. Like you just said, we feel it. We do a self-check, and then we hold that space, and we could turn our awareness, our attention to them, and actually feel it because it activates within us.
Yeah.
And then we could work with the emotions within us, and that will in fact work with the emotion in them.
Yeah.
And it's incredible to be able to do that, to have that awareness. And I've been doing that too recently.
Yeah.
If something's a little bit charged,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times we'll want to sort out, is it our emotion? Is it their emotion? Everything's a reflection. It's our emotion that we're feeling. It's being triggered because, like attracts like, right? So when they have something triggered within them, we're going to feel it within us. If we give ourselves the opportunity to do that. And once we do that, we can connect with that energy. We can alchemize that, transmute that energy,
Yes.
and offer it up for them. So we're essentially healing with them. And that is working with their higher self.
Yes.
A lot of times people don't even know that,
I love
right?
that. Yes.
We're just, okay, I've got the landscape. I know what's going on energetically. We're going to transmute. And you're going to benefit from it because I'm working with your higher self, and
Yeah.
it's all for the positive, for the good.
Yeah. It's
And it's
fantastic.
incredible.
It's fantastic. It really is. And doors continue to open to these concepts in all areas of our lives, and how we have these vast means of communication with higher selves, with teams of light. We are so supported. We are so loved. We are so guided. And there is just this wealth of wisdom, and it's incredible. The more you tap in with an open mind, a loving heart, and a pure intent, and the more you tap in, the more expansive it all gets.
Yeah, you just be available for it. You make yourself available. You get present, you make yourself available. I've had situations where I'm talking to people and my guides will appear. I'll have my, ET guide, my Pleiadian guide will come in. My main guide comes in. I've even had deceased relatives standing in front of me when I'm talking to somebody. And, it's like, okay, I sit back and I'm like, all right, everybody's here. So, all right, like it must be a big moment because they all came to watch, right? And I'm like, okay, whatever.
This is gonna be good.
So I get present, and it brings me into a deeper space of alignment, knowing and just being able to perceive and know that they're there, and it just brings it all forward, and I can hold the space. And a lot of times they'll come in, even when I'm having sessions, they'll be around, or they'll pop in, or I'll start getting images. Just to hold space. It reminds me to just get centered and to not really have an expectation about what's to come. Just be available and let it flow.
Show up, trust yourself.
Just show up and trust. That's the big thing, is trust.
Yes, that's the biggest thing I teach, is trust yourself, and then allow. That's my other word, trust
and allow.
Yep. And if you'll do those two things, you're so supported, and you're in so much of this. Our gifts, our abilities, our knowings, our understandings, they're innate within our beings.
Right.
They're all within us, and we're learning to trust ourselves. And I love this part too. I say that when you trust yourself, you're trusting God, because you're not separate, in the sense that you are fully supported. Right. And you just step out, and the no expectation. I love that as well, because it's the presence. You have no idea which way this is going to go when in session work, especially because it's going to be greatest and highest good, period. And we have no idea to say what that will be for this person or that person or this person. Right. And many times you can set it up for one type of session, and you end up on a whole different type of session, because completely. That's where it needed to go. And so I find it actually to be easier that way. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just need to be present.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I
don't have to write anything out or figure or read any old notes or whatever. I just have to show up, be completely present with them. Because half the time, before we even open our mouths, we just sit there for a second, right? We make that connection with them. So much is already happening. And then we open the mouth because we need to suffice the analytical mind still at this point in cases, but it's all just going to flow. And I love it, because you know what happens with doing the work we do, we give humanity the opportunity to witness, to experience, and then to trust itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're doing it, we're presenting it, we're putting it in a space in which they can come and experience it, and they can leave and go, that's the world I want to live in.
Right.
That's the world I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a different world. This isn't the same.
Very different world.
Yes.
Even, you know, when I started doing sessions, I would have to, my mind would want to, you know, get prepared. You know, I'd have to prepare. Maybe I wanted to make notes, whatever it may be. And that's the mind wanting to try to control the situation, which really limits the flow of energy. You know, it puts a crimp in it, like in a hose, and cuts it off. But now, you know, I just get like, you know, I get present and it flows. It sometimes, you know, sometimes it comes through so fast, you know, I'm sure you have that too. It's like, all right, slow down a little bit here.
It's like right away. And I find
up. Yeah.
It's faster now too than
Mm-hmm.
ever. I don't know if you noticed that as well, but the minute
Very.
you go in, it's like you're on, like the connection, the quantum connection, the being fully consciously connected. It's like instantaneous.
And the brain has to get it out. The brain has to get it out a lot of times. And sometimes it's like, whoa, you know, it's hard to keep up, but you get better at it with, you know, with experience, obviously, but it's incredible. It's almost like you're taking like a funnel, you know, your viewpoint, you're just going, sitting down, you're going like that, and in it flows and out it comes, and it kind of just goes where it goes. And I love going into a session clean, not knowing exactly where it's going to go, and then coming out of it and going like, wow,
yes,
where did that come from?
That.
You know, it's like,
that, right?
Like, wow. Okay. And that happens all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
It's incredible. And I was one that was always very, you know, I had a plan. I wanted everything to go perfectly, and just had to have everything kind of scripted and laid out. I had to know because my mind wanted to control it. And now it's so liberating to be able to trust, trust and know
out of the way,
to come forward.
Yeah.
Right. And just be available, make yourself available for it.
Yeah.
And that's it. So
and we have so many beautiful beings in these sessions showing up, working with us, and higher dimensional technologies being used, facilitating healing work on cellular levels, DNA levels. It's incredible.
Activations, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Divine blueprints, codes, symbols, people bringing in ancient symbols from soul lives, other spaces of themselves, but anchoring them into this now line.
Yeah.
Soul messages, soul languages coming online. A lot is moving now through frequency. A lot is moving through frequency, through sound. I have more sessions now where I go into song or soul message, and it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but the space in which it goes is so high vibrationally that there are no words for the work that is done.
Our brain can't really, you know, at least the left brain, you know, the logical brain, the analytical part can't grab it. It can't, because it's operating from within a bandwidth that is, you know, physical, 3D, and we're talking quantum energy here. And, you know, like we'll have activations, and we call them past lives, you know, simultaneous lives, but other versions of ourselves will come up into our awareness, you know, just like we're becoming aware of our emotions. We're becoming aware of other aspects of ourselves.
Yes.
And it's all coming through, and it's amazing to see. You know, I've had that happen where all of a sudden I've got a being in my space, and then I'm on a craft, you know, just boom, I'm on a craft. And flying through space on a craft, and I'm sitting in a chair in my, you know, it's my office, my home, wherever it may be. Simultaneously, I'm aware of both.
Yes.
And I just have all this information flooding through me, and it's completely amazing. Yeah, there are no words to really describe it. You know, we just have, you got to feel it. You got to feel it.
we attempt with incredible and beautiful and
Yeah.
fantastic, but they're not enough.
You can't you can't really do it justice by trying to fit it into a box of the human language. It just doesn't work. You know, like with the patterns. I remember a few years ago, I was waking up every morning and I'd blink my eyes and I'd have these geometric patterns just,
Yeah.
you know,
Great.
flashing, and just, you know, these beautiful, beautiful shapes. And, you know, these represent energies that are activating within our DNA, and they're coming up and we're experiencing them as patterns. And it's incredible, you know, and you want to run off and try to figure out what they all mean, but you sit with them and you feel it. You just be with the energy and you allow the process to unfold. And you notice in your day-to-day life that you've changed, that you're different, you know, you're more going with the flow. You're more aligned. You're less reactive.
Yeah. You're joyful. You have peace.
More, yes. And when we could become joyful of the experience and being joyful of letting go and not allowing our mind to control every aspect of our lives, that is completely liberating.
Yes.
You know, when we could trust.
Yes.
And that's where we're moving. And it's amazing to go through that experience and just see it unfold here.
Absolutely. Yeah. That is the biggest reason why I do what I do. I know I have mission, call, things that I'm sole purpose fulfilling, but the result, the after effect of seeing people be liberated to joy, to seeing people find their sovereignty for themselves and live their lives for them. Oh my gosh, you can't get any better than that.
Yeah.
It's
no, it definitely.
And everything's connected to that. Your health all changes when you're living in that space of sovereignty and joy. Your relationships all change when you're living in sovereignty and joy. Your career all change. Everything is connected energetically in your being.
Yeah.
And so when that energetic signature starts to shift into sovereignty and shift into love and peace and joy, that emanates out and all
it reflects. Yeah.
Line up. And so that to me is the be all end all. I love that.
The health is truly amazing too, with, you know, like with me, you know, blood pressure, things like that. I'd have stress with work, whatever. I've got a complete handle on that just by breathing with conscious breath work.
Yes, I love the breath work you did. Those videos.
Yeah, I've been able to just really relax into that. And a lot of that is, it's related to brainwaves, really. You know, when we could slow our brainwaves down into like the alpha and the theta state, we have, it releases healing energy. It connects the body up with the ability to heal itself. So instead of running around trying to look for, you know, external solutions to a problem, like I have a headache, I got to go grab some Advil or something, right? You go to the breathing, you take it into the body and you breathe with it and you go to where it is, and you'll feel a release because your body will show you where the energy is stuck. And it's going to do that through pain. If we don't get it out here and we don't see it in the situations we're facing, we're going to feel it in here. And if, you know, you can learn to do that, you're going to bring forward healing abilities and healing properties, and your body is going to get connected up with the high frequency energy. You're going to build circuits within your body, and it'll heal. It'll heal.
We should do a whole show on just that.
We definitely, you know what, we should.
I feel like that could help a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest programs that we are being given the opportunity to no longer align with.
That correct.
The concept of, I have a headache, let me grab an Advil. Wait a minute, let's breathe.
That, yep.
Let the body do, because the body knows, the body knows. And another thing that's happening right now is everything that we know to do and everything that we're able to do is happening faster, like we just said earlier. So even these concepts that we would bring forth now, they're going to move faster than
they always evolve.
Right? When somebody begins to talk about it. And this stuff has been talked about since this, probably, I know at least the 70s, with Louise Hay wrote the book, You Can Heal Your Life, and how every emotion you have creates a physical ailment because it's all energy. And that you know, get an understanding of what's going on and you shift the thoughts and you heal the space, you know, emotionally, you're going to heal it physically. So, it's all connected, but it's an amazing topic. It's one that holds my heart. So if you ever want to do one of those,
definitely, you know, and again, like, you know, like we've been talking about, it's all about awareness. That if we take it back to awareness, the body is saying not that there's a problem. The body is saying what our soul reflects out into reality for us to see and to handle and to heal. Same thing is happening within the body. It's saying, okay, we need to move energy through here. Our divine energy cannot flow through this area of the body. Okay, there's density in the way. So let's bring awareness to it. We do that with breath work and bring consciousness to it. Really, that's what we're doing, right? We're bringing awareness to it and we're building circuitry and we're allowing that our divine soul energy to flow through it. And we heal. And it's a flip. It is a flip from conventional medicine. Conventional medicine is a Band-Aid. They want, you know, it's let's put a Band-Aid on something or let's try to fix it. You know, it's like taking your car to the mechanic. Okay, I don't know what the problem is, but this piece is broken. We'll fix that piece, but we won't address the problem. The problem is the lack of flow.
Exactly. And sometimes the way they want to fix it, quote unquote, is just going to give you something else to fix on top of it because it's going to give you some other thing wrong with you because
it increases anxiety about a problem. And then you got to go find another solution to that new problem. You know, so it's constantly reinforcing the programming.
Yeah. And that's the big thing. And part of the programming is feeling as if something's being done to you, that you have to like run and get help because
like external.
To you. But the thing is this is being done for you. And I know that blows people's minds and some people get really angry when you talk like that. But the honest thing is it's you trying to get your attention.
It's an opportunity.
Yes. Simply the body, the being, the light, the energy saying, we need you to hear us. We've got an issue here, or we've got an issue here, wherever it is. And it's just saying, hello, can you hear us? And what's beautiful about
look here, you know.
And what's beautiful is in the beginning, it will whisper. It will whisper. So if you are aware and you are tuned you will hear it and you will soft and easy on right off the bat and life will flow. But if you don't listen, it will begin to get louder and louder. And eventually it will scream. And that's usually when you're being given notice from your doctor that you have a terminal illness or something, right? Really big things. But if we can become more aware of listening to the whispers, in tune with the body, we will never have to get to the spaces where we have to scream at ourselves.
Right.
So,
and it's all part of the same process. Getting in tune and grounding your higher self is it's part of the same process as healing physically, healing mentally.
The healing.
It is. You know? It's all one process. Right.
So, and I feel like, yes, we allow for space to meet everyone where they're at because everyone's coming at these concepts from different spaces of understandings, from different spaces of even agreeance. You know, some will be like, I don't agree with that at all. So just know, any who see this, right? Just know that these understandings at their core are love. They are light, they are peace, they are truth, and they meet everyone right where they're at. They hold no judgment over who will come to see them, but they are here for all.
For all, yes.
All that you do to get these understandings is listen.
And that's right.
Be still.
Listen. It's all around you.
There.
Yep. Just open your eyes, be aware,
just
feel.
Feel. Yes. And take on the idea for a moment, contemplate the moment that maybe the things we were told were the good way to go and the only way to go. Maybe that's not the only way to go. Maybe there's an alternative. And maybe in simply seeing it as an alternative, that's enough gentle space of openness to say, okay, I'll give it a look.
Yeah, you're shining a light on a new path.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, I see that.
The path was there. Oh.
And it's going to resonate. And it's going to resonate with many people. They're going to say, you know, I wasn't even aware of that.
Exactly.
And something feels right about that. I have to explore it. And they start to move down that path. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I've just been doing, the breath work has been incredible. Getting into heart breath coherence has a huge, profound effect on the body.
Yes.
Systems within the body, and brings a lot. It allows that energy to flow forward because we're doing it with awareness. We're focusing on it. We're focusing inward. And it's just, I can't even, we're going to have to do another one on that, but so powerful. So
even
powerful.
Heart-brain coherence. I love that as well. If you'd like to discuss that, heart-brain coherence.
Heart-brain, yes.
Affecting the field and even how we are creator beings, and the ability to have our energy run in a more stable manner instead of having to go take care of all these other pieces and parts.
See, that's what happens. Exactly. Because when the breath, I teach that the breath will slow the mind down because it gives the mind an opportunity to look at something that's happening within here. So if we could focus our breath, our mind on our breath and breathe with awareness through our body, it will slow the mind down and bring the brain into coherence with the heart as well, like you're saying, because it slows down those brain waves. And it all ties together. And if you can do that without having to focus on, I want to heal this, or I want to heal that, or want to lower my blood pressure, whatever it may be, if you could work to just do that, it's going to take care of itself. You're going to notice the positive effects from that.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of doing.
No.
That's what people don't get. They don't understand that. There's not a whole lot of doing. There's really just being.
That's all it is being. And the key of all of what you are being, because you're either being stressed out, running around chaotic, or being in your being, and you're being present, and you're allowing yourselves to listen to your heart, listen to your breath, sense your body.
Be present with that. Yes.
Yes. It's so
absolutely
powerful. So powerful. And it goes beyond that, but we can't keep going too much longer. But
I know we're already over, aren't we?
I know. Wow. But listen, let's just add this one more thing in case we decide to go this route too. Talking about what it's like to explore the quantum. We'll just say it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. I've had stuff that's just mind blowing. I know you've probably heard a lot of my videos on things that have happened, but incredible, absolutely incredible. When we open up to that space, to that energy, your life literally completely changes. Yeah. You just do a 180. It's a flip, and off you go.
Yeah, so beautiful.
Absolutely incredible.
It is.
So we will definitely have to do this again. Maybe we could talk more about healing and get into that and the quantum.
Yeah, this was so fun. I had such a great time.
It was great. Fantastic. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. And thank you. But definitely, we'll plan on doing something else. We'll get into more of the healing work and the quantum. I know from your videos and your channel, you have just some incredible insight to share with people. And I want to be able to bring that to my subscribers on my channel as well. So
thank you.
And we will definitely work together.
Well, I feel that way of you as well. So many things that I've listened to you over the years, even 2019, I believe I started with your videos, and you were one of the very first people I contacted when I experienced the beings of light in my room.
Yes.
In my videos, but I began to see them with my physical eyes all around my room, and I reached out to you and I shared it.
I remember what do you
think about this?
What do you make of this? Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. And you were so awesome and grounded and calm and just matter of fact, which I found that very in alignment with what how I would respond, right? So it felt right. Like your type of response to me felt right. So it was very easy for me to receive your information, and it was spot on as well.
Yeah.
And everything just kept opening up from there.
I know, the one thing before we go that people, I think, don't realize is that we're here to be human. We don't want to give up our humanity. We want to experience everything we're experiencing from the perspective of being human. That's why we're here.
We're very lucky.
So we ground it, and it just brings with it these incredible experiences that you can't have anywhere else.
No. And I was thinking of this, and I spoke to a student the other day about this. I was actually just having a moment acknowledging all my humanness, basically, like the ability to touch, the ability to taste food. And I love food. The ability to smell beautiful scents and see the world around us and feel joy and feel gratitude and feel love and even feel sadness that comes from a loss of something beautiful, even though, but that's connected to that great love in a sense. Right. So I don't know, I was just having that moment the other day. So it's interesting that you mentioned it, of this is passing. This isn't it. This is a space we're in at this time.
Correct.
And to not forget that, and to allow ourselves to really
appreciate it. We need to be able to, just honor it and allow it to pass. We chose to have these experiences.
Yes. We were excited. We were excited. We found out, and we knew that it would be big in many ways. We knew that it would be big in many ways, but we were also like, but we do get the perks. The food's really good, and the nature's really beautiful, and their music and dancing is amazing. And no one can dance like a human. No, I'm just joking.
I remember one time my Pleiadian guide will remind me constantly. She will tell me, you're the one that chose to go down there.
That's what I'm
of us. She goes, of us, you're the one that was best suited and chose to go down. She would tell me. And I see, that's coming forward from a human perspective, coming down. But, it's part of the mission. And we reconnect with these aspects of ourselves from here, from this perspective, so that we can do the work. Because we're the ones that are grounding the energy. We have to actually be made of Gaia. We have to be Gaia to be able to ground the energy. Okay, so we're born here to be able to do that. They support us. I want to tell you this before we go, but my dad, before he passed away a year and a half ago, he was in a memory care facility. He had a brain tumor and he had radiation. So he had like dementia type symptoms, Alzheimer's type symptoms, but he would bring forward information because I was working with him and he was working with me, and he was in two worlds. Okay. I remember him saying to me, he said, Marc, and he would point to the table. He would tap on the table. He would go, none of this is real. And that was just so profound to me. It just was like, wow, especially at that point in my growth, none of this is real.
Yeah.
For him to have that awareness and to bring it forward to me at that time, this is all created. It's a sandbox. It's created by us to have these experiences. So we need to remember that.
Yeah.
We constructed all of this. We are the creators.
Yeah. And we're doing it every moment.
Every moment, with every breath.
Every moment. And that's why coming back here instead of being over here in experiences is so important and so helpful, because you're constantly creating. And this gives you the ability to have a moment of awareness that gives you the choice, the opportunity to think about that next step, that next thought, that next word, that next action. Is it going to consciously align me to the space I am wanting, or I am going, or I am? So it's all incredible. It's all incredibly beautiful. I could talk about this stuff.
Oh, all day, all night. Yes.
Love it. So, all right.
Okay.
We'll have to do something again soon, but
definitely. Well, thank you so much. Yeah,
Yeah,
again.
thank you. Thank you, Marc. I'm so grateful that we had this time together. And thank you to everyone who took time to listen or watch us.
Absolutely.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. And that if you have comments or, any questions or anything, just please let us know. We're here. This is what we do. This is what we love to do. So reach out and just blessings on all. Blessings of love and peace upon all.
Definitely. We'll do this again.
Okay.
So I look forward to it, Andrea. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you, Marc. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.